Howdy everybody in YouTube land. What we have in front of us today is a analog television modulator. Now, I typically don't do videos like this on my channel, but I figured why not? Because this one was given to me for free for the cost of shipping, and then it was from a cable TV head-end cleanout, and it was going to get recycled anyway, so I figured why not? Now, this one here is a nice General Instrument Commander 8 C8M L. One of the best analog modulators ever made. Now, there's many different analog modulators, some better than others, but this is up there, I'll say that. This one has stereo capability, SAP, and all that stuff. This thing is completely digital as far as control through and through. I'm assuming that's where it came from, Channel 12, public access. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain, but now this one has a problem. Well, it's plugged in right now, and it's totally dead, completely non-functional. So we need to take this guy apart and see what we got going on with it and see if we can't repair it. Now, I don't know when this unit was made. I'm gonna say I have an itching suspicion that it's probably an early to mid 90s unit, so I don't know if it's gonna have the capacitors that cause the problems like this in it or not, like everything else we work on this channel. So it probably does. Then again, it could just be, lightning damage. It could just be old age. You got to think these things have been running for 24/7 for who knows how many years, at least 20 years, because cable TV, analog cable TV, as far as analog is concerned, has been going through a rapid phase out over the last 10 years at least. So it's going to be something along those lines, in my opinion. So let's get the lid off this guy and see what we have going on inside, because right now we don't know. Trying to do this single-handedly. Not exactly easy. Not exactly easy. Now, unfortunately, I am missing the Phoenix connectors that go to the bottom of these. Or to the back. These audio connectors are Phoenix, which I do not have. Oh, wow. This thing's a thing of beauty. That is neat. Let's see. What's on the back of this? Do I have any? Ooh, yeah. That thing's been hot. That's where the power supply goes. Oh, yeah. She's been toasty. Okay. See, I have another one right here, too, that I need to look at. I got two of these. That one's from Channel 9 WCTX. So that one's next, but for now, let's take a look at this one. Microprocessor board, it's a 6811. It's been a while since I've seen one of those. Let's see, let's look at some date codes. 1990? No, no way. No way. There's the Noritake display. I don't think so. 1990 or 2000. It's one from one of the 2 years. It's hard to say which. 2001. So yeah, this thing should not be old enough to call for a capacitor problem. Then again, 2001 was what? 21, 22 years ago? I mean, that's a long time. Yeah, 2001. So this thing is made in 2001. This thing's a lot newer than I thought it would be. Oh, that chip looks familiar. I've seen those before in like automotive head units. NTSC. Oh, so yeah, this thing is totally dead. I don't know why. It draws current when you plug it in. Oh yeah, you can see the blackening. If I'm going to guess what the problem is, this guy right here. Yeah, I can hear it draw current when I plug it in. It just does not have power. Yeah, it's not starting. So, something went wrong with this power supply. Now, if I were to hazard a guess, now this is just a guess because I've not seen one of these before, ever. See this really hot footprint resistor? You can see these resistors got hot. Well, what's next to that? A fluid-filled capacitor. How much you want to bet that these caps are dried completely out, just heat-baked? See, it's a 47 microfarad at 50 volts, which I have those. So, I think, in my opinion, we need to pull this power supply and check it out. Because, yeah, I think we're dead. Power supply's dead. But, just to make sure I'm not an idiot, let's start up that one. I'll plug this guy in. We got that one. We'll grab you for ground. We'll just shove you in a ground hole. And then I'll probe. Let's see. This 74 series chip is as good as any. Nada. What's ground? Nada. So, we got nothing from the power supply. So, the power supply is definitely at fault here. So, we need to remove said power supply and try and figure out why. It doesn't work. If I'm going to guess, it's probably those capacitors, at least the ones closest to the heat source. These two, especially this one, possibly over here as well. But that one is definitely a problem. When was it? This thing has got to be 2001. 2001 is fairly new for these. I didn't think they were making, well, I guess, yeah. 2001 was well into the digital era, though. So, this thing is full of relays. This thing must have a switchable tuning network. That does not look fun to take apart to replace caps, because you can see one right there. Got to untwist all of those to pull this apart. So if this thing needs capacitors like this, 01 puts it in the plague era. But I don't think that's our problem here, because this uses quality capacitors. So our issue is quite squarely just from use. Many hours and hours and hours and decades of use. This thing was used from probably 2002 all the way up to 2020. Who knows? I don't know. Probably before that. Because, well, analog TV has been gone for a while now. Alright, let me get this out. Alright, I got the power supply removed, which is just kind of like sitting right here at the moment. And I'm going to drop it like I drop everything. And I can't feel my fingertips anymore hardly. They're numb. Ever since I got COVID, I got permanent nerve damage. Anyways, so, looking at the bottom of this thing is heat baked. Like something fierce. So, I have an itching suspicion that we've got a problem with one of these caps. And this is a 47 at 50, which I think I have. I have to look in my stash. So, yeah, I'm gonna... What is that one? 220/35, yeah. What are those? Those are 2200s at 10, which I don't have those. 470 at 25, I've got those, but anyways, so the hottest points are where our issue is going to be. Now I can check this fuse and make sure it's not popped, which I don't think it is, because when I plugged it in, I could feel it draw current. So, yeah. Alright, so now I got to take this off. So this unit was likely sold in 2002. So that just like came right off. Baked. 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 Right, well, okay. Let's figure it out. Alright, so I pulled the two that I suspect are an issue. So here's the 220 right there. So we're going to get this guy connected. Shows it as a resistor. Okay, that's no. 1 kilohertz frequency. I don't know. It thinks it's a resistor. So something tells me that that is open, because that is not supposed to be a resistor. So it's so leaky that it's just, yeah. Alright, so let's try this 47. Alright, let's see what we get here with you. Oh, come on. Nope, it's shorted. I can't do this while holding the camera. Uh, 9K ohms. Again, it's not. I really don't know how to use this stupid thing, but not really doing anything. Yeah, it thinks it's a 9K resistor. That's not, no, that's not true. So these caps are done. I had a feeling they would be. So, alright, well, see, these are, that's a 100 at 25. So let's check you out right now, which is going to be hard to check in circuit, but why not? So this is a 3 ohm resistor, so that's not right. 470 at 25. Yep, that reads about 437. So that is working. It's lost some of its capacity, but it's working. So really our issue is it needs caps. So let's go see if I can dig some up for this. Alright, so I got the new capacitors installed, and I just went ahead and changed them all. I actually had these because I forgot that these 2200s, I had them from another power supply order that I did. So I went ahead and changed every one of them on here. Now this 220 at 50 volt I did not have on hand. So I shoved a couple in there in parallel, a couple 100s. I mean, it's not perfect. I want to get the right one, but for now it should work. It's certainly far better than what was in there, I'll say that much. And then the primary cap I left alone. But everything else has been done. So let's get this guy together and see if it actually works. I hope it does. It'll be nice to actually have it work, obviously. So now I did talk to the person, and he told me that these, come on, I'll put it upside down. This machine worked when it was pulled out of service. So it's possible that it is, you know, these, like the IntelliStar, they get cold, they sit, and they won't refire because the caps are just too far gone, right? So capacitors work better when they're hot versus when they're cold, at least bad ones anyways. So it's an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. So anyways, let's get this guy in here now. I don't know what the health is for the rest of the caps in the system. I really don't know. So grab you and you. Try and do this single-handedly with a screwdriver that's barely magnetic. Alright, yeah, you don't want to leave the screws out. You want to get all the grounded screws in, because I've seen cases where electronic devices will ground themselves through the chassis. They don't physically complete the circuit tracks on the card itself. Sony receivers. So I just want to make sure that we don't have that going on here. Because, yeah. Alright. Plug that in. Plug you in. I hope these are in parallel. Oh, there's the model number of the power supply. Right there. I just saw that. Okay, here we go. Does it run, or does it explode into a ball of flames? Alright. Ooh, I heard a click. Ooh. Yes, it's working. Nice. Nice. It's working. Alright. So that's what it was. We had bad capacitors in the power supply. No surprise there, right? So it's fully functional. Fully functional. Alright, so we got to get a signal into this thing and get this thing set up for testing and all that fun stuff. But for now, I'm going to get the lid on, let this run for a bit, and then be good. Alright, so what we've got is we've got the NTSC generator hooked up. We have the antenna hooked up. NTSC is on video A. There's no audio because I don't have the right plug for that. But I can test the video. And what we have here, video is on. We've got good modulation. I don't know. RF out is on. Everything is on. We're using the old channel 9. I've not changed it. So here we go. Let's see how well it works. Let's see. Ooh, there it is. That actually looks really good. So the modulator works perfectly fine now. That's beautiful. Awesome. Good, so I can wrap this thing up.